The courtroom was thick with silence, the kind that pressed down like an unbearable weight, making every breath feel like a struggle. Every seat was taken, but no one moved. All eyes were locked on Logan Pierce, a 43-year-old former Marine, seated in his wheelchair at the center of it all. His German Shepherd, Titan, sat obediently by his side, his sharp amber eyes scanning the room. Logan's fingers tightened around the leash, his knuckles white. He had faced combat, survived ambushes, and endured hellish nights overseas. But this was breaking him. His uniform, adorned with service medals, was a cruel reminder of what he had given. But now the government wanted to take Titan away, calling him property, just another tool for the next mission. Property? Logan swallowed hard, his jaw clenching. Titan had saved his life in ways no one could ever understand. Losing him now felt like a betrayal worse than war. And yet, deep in his chest, a fire still burned. He would not surrender. Then, without warning, Titan tensed. Logan's grip on Titan's leash tightened as the dog's entire body went rigid. The shift was subtle at first, a stiffening of the shoulders, ears snapping forward. But Logan knew better. Titan never reacted without a reason. The murmurs in the courtroom grew as people noticed the change. The judge adjusted his glasses, his gavel hovering midair. The bailiffs exchanged uncertain glances. "What's wrong with the dog?" someone whispered from the back. Titan let out a low, rumbling growl. Not a warning, an alert. Logan's pulse spiked. He'd heard that sound before, on the battlefield, moments before an ambush. His instincts screamed at him to move, to react, but there was nowhere to go. This wasn't war. This was a courtroom, a place of order, a place of safety, but Titan knew better. The German Shepherd's growl deepened, his amber eyes locked onto the heavy wooden doors at the far end of the room. Then, a bark, sharp, urgent. Logan's stomach dropped. "Titan, heel!" he commanded, his voice tight. The dog ignored him. That never happened. The doors creaked slightly, as if disturbed by an unseen force. A collective shudder rippled through the crowd. The bailiffs straightened, their hands hovering near their holsters. Logan's breathing quickened. Then, a metallic clang. It echoed down the hallway beyond the doors, sharp and unnatural. Every muscle in Logan's body coiled tight. The judge's gavel finally came down, but the sharp crack did nothing to break the suffocating tension. Titan exploded into a frenzy, barking, snarling, pulling so hard against the leash that Logan's wheelchair lurched forward. Panic surged through the room, and then another clang, closer, louder. Logan's blood ran cold. Something was coming. The second metallic clang sent a shockwave through the room. The bailiffs stiffened, their hands now firmly on their weapons. The murmurs turned to nervous whispers, then silence, a thick, suffocating silence. Titan's barking reached a fever pitch, his body straining forward, claws scraping against the floor. Logan's heart pounded. He knew this behavior. Titan had sensed something no one else could see. One of the bailiffs, a broad-shouldered man with a steady grip, stepped toward the door. "Stay where you are," the judge ordered, his voice tight with forced authority. But the bailiff ignored him, fingers curling around the handle. Logan swallowed hard. "Don't," he said, but his voice barely carried. The door creaked open. The hallway beyond was dimly lit, stretching into a quiet void. At first, there was nothing, just polished floors and empty space. But Titan didn't stop. His growl turned into something deeper, something primal. The second bailiff hesitated. "It's just a hallway," he muttered, stepping closer. Then, movement. A shadow shifted at the far end. Subtle, almost imperceptible, but there. The smaller bailiff's flashlight flickered as he swung it toward the darkened corridor. His hand trembled. "I don't see anything," he whispered. Titan lunged. Logan nearly lost his grip. The German shepherd was desperate, his entire body vibrating with urgency. Another clang, this time impossibly close. The judge stood abruptly. "What the hell is going on?" His gavel hit the desk like a gunshot. Titan froze. His growl became a sharp, guttural bark. Then, a footstep, deliberate, unhurried. Logan's breath hitched. Someone or something was there. A single, deliberate footstep echoed through the dim hallway, sending a chill down Logan's spine. His grip on Titan's leash tightened until his knuckles turned white. Who was out there? What did they want? Titan snarled, his body coiled like a spring ready to launch. Logan's heart pounded as adrenaline surged through his veins. This wasn't random. This was intentional. The bailiffs raised their weapons. "Step into the light," one barked, his voice edged with nerves. Silence. Then, another footstep. Closer. Slower. Calculated. A shape emerged from the shadows. A tall figure draped in a heavy coat, hood pulled low over his face. He moved with an unsettling confidence, his hands tucked into his pockets as if he wasn't surrounded by armed men. Titan lunged again, barking furiously. Logan barely held him back. "Identify yourself," the lad bailiff commanded, gun aimed. The man didn't flinch. Instead, he tilted his head slightly as if amused. "Relax," he said smoothly, his voice eerily calm. "I'm not here to cause trouble." Logan's gut twisted. Liar. "Then why the hell are you here?" Logan snapped, his anger rising. The stranger ignored him, his attention locked onto Titan. A smirk played at his lips. "That dog," he murmured. "He's special." A bolt of rage shot through Logan. "Titan isn't yours," he spat. "He's not going anywhere." The stranger exhaled slowly, almost disappointed. "That's unfortunate," he said, taking another step forward. The bailiff stiffened. The tension was suffocating. Then, without warning, the stranger reached into his coat. "Don't move!" the bailiff shouted. Titan's snarl turned feral. Logan braced himself. This was about to get worse. Logan's breath came fast and shallow, his pulse hammering as the stranger's hand disappeared into his coat. Every instinct screamed danger. His body tensed, his grip unyielding on Titan's leash. The bailiffs had their weapons drawn, their fingers hovering over their triggers. Slowly, the lead bailiff warned, voice sharp. Titan's snarl deepened, vibrating through Logan's chest. He knew, just like before, in the field, Titan always sensed danger before it struck. Logan wasn't about to ignore him now. The stranger pulled something out, a small metallic object, a key. The room collectively exhaled, but Logan's gut twisted. This wasn't relief. This was worse. The stranger held up the key, his smirk widening. "Relax," he repeated, voice as smooth as oil. "This isn't what you think." Logan didn't buy it. "Then what the hell is it?" The man took his time answering, his gaze flicking between Logan and Titan. "It's an invitation," he finally said. "A door, a choice." A ripple of unease swept through the courtroom. The judge stood frozen, his gavel forgotten. The bailiffs exchanged wary glances. Titan's barking didn't stop. He wasn't fooled. Logan's hands trembled, not with fear, but with fury. He wouldn't let them take Titan. The stranger took another step forward, lowering his voice. "He doesn't belong to you," he said, his tone almost pitying. "And whether you want to believe it or not, they will come for him." Logan clenched his jaw. "Number." He reached down, running a steadying hand over Titan's head. The dog leaned into him, unwavering. No matter what came next, Logan knew one thing. They would face it together. Titan growled low, muscles tense. Whatever was coming, they weren't backing down. At its heart, this story is about loyalty, resilience, and the courage to stand against forces beyond our control. Logan's unwavering determination to protect Titan reminds us that in life, we are often faced with difficult choices, ones that test our strength, our morals, and our capacity to hold on to what truly matters. There will always be those who try to take away what we cherish, whether it's our freedom, our dignity, or the people we love. But like Logan, we must stand firm. True strength is not found in weapons or authority, but in conviction, the refusal to surrender what we know in our hearts is right. The story also teaches us that bonds built on trust and sacrifice are unbreakable. Just as Titan saved Logan, we all have people or even memories that have carried us through life's darkest moments. These connections are what give us purpose. And when the world feels uncertain, when we are confronted with forces that make us question our place in it, we must remember we are never truly alone. There is always something worth fighting for. Whether it's family, a lifelong friendship, or simply the principles we refuse to betray, we must protect them with everything we have. Because in the end, our legacy is not what we owned, but what we stood for.